This is spEarz to the streets. spEarz to the streets. spEarz to the streets. spEarz to the streets. This is spEarz to the streets. This is spEarz to the streets. Get down to the beat, or get beat down in the street.
The fatigue that I had telegraphed for All In did not come to fruition. Both matches for the women's division at the Big Four PLE were top tier with a full-on clinic hidden within the main event. Practice makes perfect, and the Casino Gauntlet match was a sight to see. The announce table still couldn't sell me as to how coming in first was an advantage, especially since all the women were accounted for in the ring after all the entrances were out the way. Still, starting things off with Bane and Statlander was a wise decision, especially since the AEW audience has been dying to see the two Titans square off since Bane signed to AEW. Mello was surprisingly abrasive. Her and Jay's big spot with Penelope Ford was the funniest moment of the night. But with every cracking hit, Mello truly meant business and distinguished herself as a force to be reckoned with in the AEW locker room. Nightingale was responsible for breaking up the most pins and submission attempts for the night with her well-timed splashes, while the Kodak moment of the match belonged to Thekla and Hart performing tandem spider locks on opposite turnbuckles, while Ananata was performing a set of chocolate kisses in the middle of the ring. Speaking of Thekla, I didn't like her inclusion in the match. I believe another woman waiting in the wings of the roster could have taken her spot, or someone else like Shuri could have made their debut. Though the Shuri-Shirakawa face-off was fun, I felt fatigued from having seen Shirakawa become the interim champion in Supercard just hours before. The same could be said about the inclusion of both Thunder Rosa and Athena Palmer. AEW isn't short on talent. Both Shuri and Alex Windsor's debuts, along with the women who were interfering ringside, could have been enough to fill those slots, other than athletes who already got shine earlier in the weekend. This is not all to say that I didn't enjoy watching Athena take those bumps, see her ring gear get ate up, and her hit that old face for the championship contract. I did enjoy the outcome. I'm glad Statlander didn't get the Rhea Ripley push, and instead she was relegated to work in a match with Megan Bayne. Those doomsday devices just wouldn't have exploded the same without her. But I am upset over AEW's lazy booking and unwillingness to put together some tag titles for the ladies. I am upset that at the end of this match, AEW will have another PLE where the women's division headliner will be champion versus champion from women who have been at the top of their game from WWE to AEW. I am upset that the Pure Championship tournament had been halted on ROH for Queen Aminata to do some main card selling over at All In and the weeks leading up to it. I find all of that upsetting. AEW Control did not give me a lot of time to dwell on that disappointment, though, because main eventing the women's division at All In, Toni Storm put her AEW world title on the line against Mercedes Moné, and that was nothing short of an instant classic. Moné was decked in white gold, dancing her way to the ring on the Goldberg tip, while Storm had a vignette queued up before her music and came to the ring dressed like a ref and a mime combined. Moné was clearly outmatched in the early test of strength, but what she made up for in weight, she succeeded with grit, driving the champ outside onto the top of the ropes. This was billed like a heavyweight match, so the pacing was nice and slow. Slaps to the face and blow exchanges provided most of the punctuation in between the bigger spots. And Moné versus Storm had those in spades. Moné hit the three amigos. Storm hit three consecutive Storm Zero pile drivers. The German suplexes Storm combined were ridiculously deep. Every wrist and neck lock Moné synced in were visibly a struggle to hold. The ankle locks, which even the announce table pointed out that Moné should have kept grounded and not switched to standing. The STF, and of course that statement maker. Never before would I have considered Moné a submission magician, but in this case at All In, Moné had her wand poised, flowers ready to blossom at the other end. So many false finishes, and Storm was just a juggernaut, pushing through the color from her busted nose, rubbing Moné's face on the ropes, riding high on Luther's shoulders, rubbing her face in Moné's bosom, giving Moné the kiss of death, mocking Moné's dance routine, and those running hip attacks reverberated dimensions. But after that trifecta of Storm Zeros, all it took was Storm to come at Monet from another angle, dangerously performing the pile driver finisher from the top turnbuckle to halt Monet's quest for her 7th belt and to smoothly set up Storm versus Athena at AEW's next PLE. Monet needed medical assistance to climb out of Texas. Storm needed gauze to plug up her nose. This is the way title matches should end at pro wrestling events. Though at this point, I do not see how Toni Storm could top another champion versus championship match because against Monet, the bar has been set so large in her current AEW run, she could pole vault with it. This was also notably Monet's first singles loss in an AEW ring. Chances are she goes touring and comes back to AEW for a much-needed round 2 after Athena and Storm are through with their feud, something that the entire wrestling world will be ready for and looking forward to.
This is spEarz to the streets. spEarz to the streets. spEarz to the streets. spEarz to the streets. This is to the streets. To the streets. This is spEarz to the streets. Get down to the beat or get beat down in the street.